Hi, and welcome to What's New at 352, where we take a look at the month of September here at 352 Media Group, look back at the things that happened over the last 30 days. I'm joined by Jeff Wilson, as always, and I'm Peter Van Rysdam. And so let's go ahead and jump right in with some of the news stories that have happened. The big news story from a web development perspective has to be the launch of Google Chrome.
Yeah, Google Chrome is a new web browser that Google is coming out with. And it's gone out now in beta format. It's been big news on the web, not only because people are interested in certainly what Google is going to bring to the table from a web browser standpoint, but also being a web developer, it's another browser we have to be aware of, and we have to design our websites and web applications so that they are now going to be compatible and load properly in the new browser.
Yeah, and what Google says on their developer site is that basically if your site works in Safari 3.1, then it will work in Google Chrome. There's some debate about that, some question about how accurate that statement is, and there's a lot of browsers that have come out that have said they work one way, and when you render your sites to them, it doesn't exactly render the same. So we'll keep an eye on that. Another thing to keep an eye on with the launch of Google Chrome is what's going to happen to Mozilla, which is, of course, the group behind Firefox. They are a company that basically runs completely on donation and outside funding, and their biggest contributor by far is Google. So as we jump into a browser war here where Firefox has been making up some ground on Internet Explorer, it'll be interesting to see what the future of Firefox is now with Google Chrome out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we got IE8 coming out soon too, so it's going to be an interesting time and a confusing time for our testing department as they look at all those things. But now let's jump ahead into launches and things that I don't know if they work in Google Chrome. We'll have to go back and test them now.
Hopefully they will.
Yeah, if they work in Safari 3.1. So one of the first ones, and a real high-profile client for us, is the Humana Foundation, obviously a division of Humana Insurance. You can see the site here. It's called WellZone.org. And basically it's a site where people can go and get all kinds of health information. So it's designed to go into libraries and other places like that where people use public computers and can get information about health conditions from a variety of different sources. So that's a fantastic site and really something that should help a lot of people.
Yeah, and another impressive thing about this site is that we did it on a very tight deadline. Humana needed to get the site up really quickly in just over a month from the time the account came in order to go along with some promotions and a conference that they're doing. So it's great to see. It's a great looking site.
Yep.
Another real good site is a site that we did for BAE Systems, who's a Fortune 500 company. This site specifically is for one of their product lines called Bianchi Body Armor. And we've got a great relationship with BAE Systems. We've got a bunch of projects with them in development. They do a lot of military and body armor, and this is one of their more popular lines of body armor that they sell to armored guards and police officers and people of that nature. So you can see really nice looking site design.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Another one of the sites we did is for the University of Florida, which is for the IFAS extension, which is the Institute for Food and Agriculture Sciences. I always get that one wrong. But this site is kind of to show off some different things that you can do around your house with gardening and some different ways to do some recycling, water conservation, all those types of things. And you can see with the flash here that it kind of gives you a cool look at the house, and you can click on the different things to learn about how those different things work in your house. So a nice interface and a cool way to present the information.
Yep, absolutely. One more site that I wanted to show off here that we did over the past month, and this is CNN promotions department hires us periodically to do websites for different promotions they're doing. This promotion is specifically around the new movie called Burn After Reading. And it's a new movie that's out in theaters, featuring some big name actors. I believe George Clooney, Brad Pitt,
yeah, John Malkovich. Yeah.
Great movie. And we did a great promotional site here for CNN, so that's nice to see.
Yeah, we also did a newsletter too that went out as part of this, so that was pretty cool. Well, let's talk now about blog posts that we had this last month on our blog, which is rainingandraving.com. You should definitely check that out. One of the things that one of our programmers blogged about was something called Rock Scroll for Visual Studio 2008, which is a very cool way to look at get a lot of code in a very condensed version. You've got normally a scroll bar on the right-hand side of your page. Well, this shows you, instead of just a bar, a really condensed version of the code, so you can look at the code visually and tell where exactly you want to go in it. So if you've got something that's 10,000 lines of code, you can easily navigate through that without just scrolling blindly down, and you can see an example of that here. It's a pretty cool feature that should help a lot of programmers out.
Yeah, speaking of cool things, last month I had blogged about Silverlight being used in the Olympic Games and the really neat interface that NBCOlympics.com had put together to see all of this live video streaming as well as pre-recorded video through Silverlight. And it's interesting, right after the Olympics came and went, then the Democratic National Convention came and they used Silverlight technology as well with a bunch of video streams from the Democratic National Convention. Really good use of Silverlight technology and continuing to showcase the power of Microsoft's new technology, and something that we here at 352 are really harnessing as well and training our staff up on.
Yeah, it's cool. You could change angles and view different camera angles, so get the perspective that you wanted on the conference. Speaking of changing camera angles, one of the other cool sites that we kind of reviewed on Ranting and Raving was Microsoft's new Photosynth, which is a site that they've put out. It's a free service you can use, where basically you take a lot of different photos like you would a panoramic image, and there's other programs where you can stitch things together, but this actually does it completely for you and then lets you navigate around. So you could take pictures 360 degrees around you, or looking in on an object, and then you'd be able to rotate and move that object around. So it's going to be interesting to see how they monetize that. You could do some cool things there with e-commerce, where you can actually almost touch and feel a product. So Photosynth is a very cool site from Microsoft, and we've got a sample of it up on our blog. We actually took some shots in our conference room, so you can just get a feel for how it works looking around. So pretty cool one. So that was it for this month on what's new at 352, and definitely join us next time, and we'll look ahead to some of the other site launches that we have and other cool blog posts and videos and things that we put out. So for now, thanks so much for watching, and be sure to check out our blog at rantingandraving.com. Thanks.
See you soon.